Welcome to the Queer Confidence Podcast, the podcast to help you become your most confident queer self. I'm your host, he, she, they, Coach Alex Ray, and I haven't always been this confident. In fact, I used to be super insecure. And through this show, I want to share with you what's worked for me, my clients, and my guests so that you can become more confident. Hey, unicorns! How we doing? You ready to talk about deflecting compliments? Look, if deflecting compliments was an Olympic sport, I totally would have won all of the gold medals. I used to be an expert at deflecting compliments, and so I'm wildly excited to talk with you about this topic today because this is something that's really, really, really important and impactful in your journey to confidence. This is something that the majority of my clients are doing when they come to me. They are actively deflecting compliments. I notice it when we have like our consultation calls. I notice it when we are just coaching. I notice all over the place. And they actively avoid complimenting themselves. And I know that you're doing this too. How do I know? Because this is literally one of the just symptoms or just kind of baggages that comes along with insecurity. It's a practice, it's a habit, it's something that is ingrained, and you're going to see why today it is so difficult to break it and why your brain actively avoids accepting compliments. So first off, let's just start with the fact that it is very interesting to notice that you truly want to feel more confident. How do I know that? Because you're listening to a podcast called the Queer Confidence Podcast. So obviously you want to be more confident. Duh. We all want to be more confident. And the confidence that we're talking about really comes from a full, just deep love and acceptance for yourself. And we are societally trained, and it depends on where you live in the world too. That's the interesting thing, because different parts of the world have different sort of opinions around what's polite and impolite as far as the level of accepting or loving yourself or how confident you are. And the funny thing is, Americans are known to other nations to be the cockiest group of people, which you would think meant confident too, but we are not. We are not. We are still deeply insecure over here in America, and or I should say the United States of America. There is two continents, the Americas, so the United States of America, we still got a lot of insecurity, and often it's masked over with arrogance and cockiness. And I have to say, especially within our LGBTQIA plus community, particularly us gay men, my goodness, we are a cocky bunch. But now I've gone off on a rant and lost where I even am. But to get back to the subject, there is sort of this underlying fear that I've noticed in all sorts of people about, well, I don't want to love myself too much, right? I don't want to accept compliments too much. I don't want to think too highly of myself because then I'll think too low of other people. And it's exactly the opposite. In fact, I think I'm going to have to just make a little note for myself now. That needs to be an entire episode just on loving the fuck out of yourself and how we have this strange thought error as humans that if I love myself too much, that means I won't have enough love for anyone else. And the interesting thing is that emotions are really vibrations. And so you can't have, one vibration kind of then cut that vibration off from another. Does this make sense? Okay, so basically, let's think of it like water, okay? Because water's super easy. If you had a cup and that cup represented you, and then you had that cup sitting in a bucket, and the bucket, let's make it like a really big bucket, okay? And that big bucket represents the world around you. And what most of us start with, the presumption that your brain starts with is, if I have too much love for myself, I won't have enough love for other people, or I won't love them as much. And you think that there's sort of this finite amount of love to be given. But what really is going on is you are just accepting or tolerating a certain amount of love into your life, a certain amount of that vibration, a certain amount of that, in this example, water. So what you think is happening is that if you pour only a little bit of the water in your cup, then you'll have a lot of water to put out in the bucket around you, around the cup. But that's not actually what happens. There's not a finite amount of water. There's an infinite amount of it. So when you've shut yourself off, you also shut off the amount of water that's able to overflow from you to the other people around you, to the world around you. So in actuality, what allows you to love more people, love them harder, love them better, and have more love for others is to allow yourself to be totally filled with love, with so much self-love that it starts overflowing. You fill that cup over, it's just bubbling over the brim. And now you're sloshing love around to everyone you come in contact with. There is not a finite amount of love. It's a, how much am I allowing into my life? If I allow total gushing, overflowing fire hose of love into me, well, that fills up my cup. Boom, done. And now it's overflowing into everyone around me. I have so much love for those who are around me. That's how it really works. So catch yourself if you've been thinking the opposite, that you need to tone yourself down or love yourself less in order to love other people more. Because that's one of the thought errors that I see accompany this issue of compliment deflection, where someone gives you a compliment and you think, oh no, I can't possibly take this compliment. There's like only so many compliments to go around, only so much love to go around. I better make sure that I don't take this. I don't want to take it from me. I don't want to be selfish. Or I don't want them to feel bad. So I'm going to hurry up and compliment them right back. As if them complimenting you meant that they ran out of some love. Did you hear that? It's based on this presumption that, oh, their cup is, partly full of love, water, of compliments. And when they compliment you, they've spilled some water out of their cup and now their cup is more empty. And the reason, of course, that you believe that is because that's how you are relating to love. That's how much you think you need to shut yourself off from it so that more can go around. So, of course, when somebody else gives you a compliment, you have the same belief about them, that it's not an infinite amount of love that they have to give out or compliments that they have to give out. It's a finite amount. So you've got to trade one compliment for the other. And the interesting thing, too, is what this habit does is it really keeps you from having the confidence that you want to have. You think it's because you're being really kind and nice and whatever and trying to protect other people and their feelings, but you're not. You're actually just allowing your brain to keep from changing its belief patterns. And we've talked about this before, how the most uncomfortable thing for our brains is to challenge our beliefs, to challenge our worldviews, to challenge our views of ourselves. So your brain really does not want to change its opinion of you. And so it will at all costs deflect these compliments and try to get rid of them and try to kind of excuse them. And we'll look at, like, there's 3 different stages of that you go through with compliment deflection as well. If you think of any more, feel free to DM me on Instagram and we can chat about it. But I've found 3 major stages that we go through. But I just want you to, for a moment, remember as we're going through this, that the reason your brain does this is not because it's stupid. It's doing it in order for you to be able to cling to your existing self views, to cling to your existing world views, to not have to do the uncomfortable work of reconsidering. Our brains hate that. And in your journey to confidence, your brain consciously really wants to stop hating yourself, but subconsciously doesn't think this is possible. And that goes against all your existing subconscious beliefs. So when someone compliments you, of course, even though you want to be able to take that, your brain comes immediately right back with a way to deflect it and turn it away, because you're not even accepting those things to be true of yourself. So your brain's like, quit lying to me. What the hell are you talking about? It's not that good. I'm not that good. This outfit isn't that good. My work isn't that great. Okay. Are we on the same page here? I think so. The other interesting thing I want to suggest is that if overnight we change this, you wouldn't even know how to relate to yourself or the world. Let me say that again. Like, if overnight we just changed your view of you and you stopped deflecting compliments, you would not even understand how to relate to yourself and to the world. I had a moment like this back in therapy. Oh, geez, like 3 years ago, I guess. 4 years ago? I can't remember. Man, it's been a while. Okay. So like 3 or 4 years ago, where we were working through some stuff, and we changed, like, fundamentally, I was questioning all these views about the world and humans and everything. It felt like my entire world was being turned upside down. And I remember asking my therapist, like, how do you do it? How do you relate to people still? Because all of a sudden, everything that I knew and understood was turned upside down. And I remember for about a week, I was really, really grumpy. I had moved back in with my parents at this time. And so I was living at home with my parents and my brother and my sister. And I was so grumpy with them, and I didn't want to be around them. And I didn't want to be around my friends. I didn't want to be around anyone. I didn't want to talk to anybody at work. Like, I didn't like humans for like a week. It was like, fuck off, to go away. I don't want to talk to you. And it was because my brain was just like, we don't understand. Kind of like the Matrix, like coming out of the Matrix, like, wait, what? What? Everything was different. The pillars my life and my worldviews were built on were crumbling. And so I had no trust for anyone, not even myself. So what I want to suggest to you here is that as we do this work, you allow it to sort of be a transition, a spectrum, a fading of one color into the next, if you will. What is that called? Oh my God, it's gonna kill me. It's a name for when like one color fades. Ombre, that's the thing. Ombre. Let it be an ombre effect. If you don't know what that is, go to my website and you'll see that the cyan turns into the magenta, right? It's sort of an ombre effect through like a purplish color in the middle, right? It's a fade from one color to the next. So allow yourself to go on this journey and not make it anything wrong with you if you don't turn it around overnight. The experience would be very unpleasant if you did anyway. Okay. Okay, so the stages of deflecting compliments are first, rejection, second, dismissal, and third, acceptance. So I love to use metaphors. Y'all know that. So let's use this metaphor of a sponge. Now remember, there's plenty of compliments to go around. So I want you to just imagine you're standing in like a flooded basement. I have so many stories of flooded basements from a kid. Oh my God. Just whatever. I used to like house sit for neighbors when they went on vacations and stuff. And one of my neighbors, their basement consistently flooded every time. And it was just a freaking mess. So we're in a flooded basement, y'all, for this example. And the first stage is rejection. So I want you to imagine yourself as like a sponge. And now you're holding that sponge for rejection. You're not even allowing yourself to soak in any of those compliments. Remember, the floor is just covered in a nice 1-inch layer of water, aka compliments, and you are rejecting it. There's not enough to go around. Let me be a savior and sacrifice myself, or I don't deserve that compliment because it actually contradicts fundamentally my views of myself. Whatever is super uncomfortable for your brain, it's doing it for a reason. In coaching, we like get to those reasons specifically to give you clarity on it. But for some reason, your brain is in the rejection stage right now and you reject the compliment. That's full on deflection. So what this might look like in real life is someone gives you a compliment and you deny it. So you find a way to say, someone compliments your outfit. Oh, well, oh, thanks. I got it on sale. Actually, that might be a little more, well, that's a little bit more like the next stage. So instead of that, rejection is the full on, oh, no, it's not really. I have much better outfits. Okay. I should really work out my metaphors before I tell them. Or not my metaphors, my explanations, right? Okay, so the first one, rejection, is more like, nice outfit. And you respond with, no, it's not really that great. Or, oh my gosh, I didn't realize you created this, wonderful piece of art. No, that's really not that great. I could have done so much better. Congratulations on your score at CrossFit today. It was a terrible off day. I really didn't perform my best. Whatever it is, your brain is like, I will not allow myself to take this compliment in. So it's like you holding the sponge above you when there's plenty of water on the floor to be had. The second stage is dismissal. So that's where you kind of allow it, but then you discount it a little bit, right? So that's more like that first example that I tried to say, which is, great outfit. Oh, thanks, I got it on sale. You minimize the compliment. Or you talk about something that you do and you immediately find a way to make it not look so great. So I was coaching someone the other day and she was talking about, I created this program, but it was not as good as this other thing, and it really wasn't that great. And she slipped it in there. I wish I remembered the specific sentence that she used for you all, but that's okay. It was very clever, and she didn't even notice it. She just moved on. She was like, I have these two programs. This one, it's just sort of basic, and this other one is so much better. So that's kind of an example of dismissal, right? This is so basic. This is so bleh. It's, yes, I did it, but it's not that good. Congratulations on that piece of art you made. That was beautiful. Thanks, but it's really not the best in the room. Thanks, but it's really not my best work. So you kind of allow your sponge to get wet, but you make sure that as little of the compliment soaks in as possible. So imagine you've now allowed that sponge to go on the floor. You drop the sponge in the wet, flooded basement, but you're standing on it, right? When a sponge is stood on, it can't really soak anything up, can it? No, it's sort of just smushed out. You keep the water from soaking up into it. So it might get wet, but not as much as it could. Okay, the third stage is acceptance. And acceptance looks like simply, thank you. I love that outfit. Thank you so much. What an incredible painting. Thank you so much. It's one of my favorites. Well done on that program you created. That's pretty great. Thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. What was your favorite part about it? Acceptance is stepping off of the sponge and allowing it to fully soak up the water. Now think about a flooded basement. If you allowed one sponge to soak up water, it's not that much water. So if your brain is still arguing with you about there's only a certain amount of finite compliments and love to go around, well, at least tell it, bitch, there's a whole lot more than I could ever soak up, even if it is finite. There's no way that you could possibly soak up too much acceptance or accept too much compliments, soak up too many compliments. The worst that can happen is your sponge gets so fucking wet it can't possibly hold the water anymore, and you just are dripping all over everyone around you, complimenting them too. The simplest thing to do here, my friend, is to practice saying thank you with no other words. No compliment back. No explanation. No redirecting the attention to someone else or something else like, oh, well, thanks, I love this outfit too, but I got it on sale. Just thank you. I remember actively working on this, on actively accepting compliments. I think I must have started this a couple of years ago. And at first it felt so weird. It was like something wanted to just jump out of my mouth and I had to hold it back. It was so uncomfortable. I had to just say, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I would look, if you're just starting this out, I wouldn't even say I appreciate it because then you'll find yourself babbling on about other shit. Okay, so just let's go with the first thing I told you. Just say thank you. Just say thank you. And while you're doing this, remember that your brain is going to actively avoid. Have some love for yourself. Give yourself a big old hug. Of course, you want to leap out of my mouth with ways to redirect, ways to reject, ways to dismiss, ways to deflect. Of course, brain, of course you want to do that because you hate change. You hate believing good things about yourself right now. You truly do. Your brain hates believing good things about you right now. That's okay. It's totally okay. It's where you're at. So have some grace for yourself. Understand that this is not instant. And if it was, again, it would rock your world so hard, you'd probably wish that it was a little more gradual. And just allow it to be uncomfortable. What is my proven process for building confidence? The simple 3 steps that you need to do over and over and over. Be willing to be uncomfortable. When? Now. before you go and do the thing, right? Don't say thank you and then wait for it to be uncomfortable afterwards. No, decide ahead of time on purpose. Oh my God, I'm going to be really uncomfortable right now. Here we go. Thank you. Period. Done. Otherwise, you're going to go, oh, thank you. Well, it's not that big a deal. Oh, I got it on sale. Oh, it's good, but I'm sure you could do better. Oh, I've seen your work. Yours is incredible. No. And then there comes the discomfort after that of what? Of like, oh shit, there's Coach Alex Ray's voice in my head going, that wasn't it. Close. Love you. Close, but no cigar. So try it again with deciding on purpose ahead of time. I'm going to be uncomfortable right now. I'm going to be uncomfortable right now. Let the words leave your mouth. Thank you. And then allow it to sit. Have your own back by sitting with all of the feelings of discomfort that are going to come up. Your brain is angry at you. Sit with all those feelings. Let them come. Let it be. Take some deep breaths. And simply let it go. It's having your back. And you won't die. I promise. You're not going to die if you just say thank you. And no other words. You're going to be absolutely fine. And on the other side of this, it's going to be so much easier then to play with more language, like where I'm at now. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I know, me too. I love this eyeshadow look today. It's so fun. Hey, do you want to know how I did it? It's so crazy. I accidentally discovered this while using a dirty brush. It's so cool. Let me tell you about it. So fun. Thank you. It all started with thank you. And then I love to just gush some love out again, but it's not because it's an imbalance. It's like, oh my God, thank you so much. I receive all of that. And I would love to share some with you if appropriate, like some tips with you or something. If someone's just like, oh my God, I just love your outfit. Thank you. Thank you so much. And if they like ask some questions about it, maybe then, yeah, you want to know where I got it? Here's the website. It's a different reasoning behind it, what you'll find. That on the other side of this, you'll be able to say some stuff that might have sounded a little bit like what you used to say of like, oh, thank you. I got this outfit at Goodwill. Like I literally have said that to a few people recently. And I was like, oh, am I like deflecting it? And I was like, no, I'm genuinely like excited to share with them that I didn't realize I could find such fabulous clothing at Goodwill, and I look fucking stunning. Thank you very much for noticing. I'm aware. I love it. I love this outfit, and I am so proud of it. And I got it at Goodwill. So girl, go get yourself some stuff at Goodwill. Let's get it, right? I'm not. My brain is not going, oh my God, they just complimented us and I need to find some way to make me more comfortable or to like even out the playing field. That is not what it is. Okay? That's where we're headed. Start with thank you. Nothing else. Allow yourself to be uncomfortable. Say thank you and then have your own back. You got this, my friend. Have a fabulous week. By the way, here's your first opportunity because you can't say anything back to me. You are a fucking fabulous unicorn. You are ridiculously talented. You are unique, beautiful, expressive, talented. Did I say that already? I'm going to say it again. Stunning, divine. Beyond belief, beyond comparison. You're amazing. Literally, you are amazing as a human. You don't even know how you do it. That look you have on right now, You are slaying, bitch. You look fucking hot today. Love you, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye. If you enjoyed this episode, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend so they too can become more confident. You can also help more people find the show by leaving a 5-star review wherever you listen. And if you want to become a more confident queer with support from yours truly, head to coachalexray.com or use the link down in the show notes. I'm looking forward to working with you.